Are you making the seemingly tiny mistake that I see so many of my students make, but yet it has the biggest impact on your golf swing without you even knowing it? Stick around and we'll dive into it. Before we jump into today's tip, I want to bring your attention to one of my favorite products because I always feature those on my channels. This is called Victory Insoles. I wear them all the time in my shoes. I wear them when I play golf. I wear them when I teach because I'm on my feet so much. And especially today's tip is a lot about how we engage the ground and how we feel the ground. And we need to have the right insoles, shoe work, fit, everything to be able to actually feel the ground better. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave the link down in the description box for you guys. It really is awesome because it also helps you with your back problems. It just sets you up for more success. If you're out there a lot, highly recommend you check them out. All right, so the one thing that I see so many of my students do, and I just had a student on the tee with me about 2 days ago that did it too, and they're not even really aware of it. And this happens to mostly earlier beginners to mid-beginners, to people that kind of just graduated from that, early golfer mode that still took some of the not so great habits from their earlier time into their kind of medium golf career. And that is your stance. So many times do I see my students do this, and they're standing up and they're like this. I would say the vast majority do this. What do you notice? Stance is way too wide. And especially when I already see this in them warming up, because by definition, when you're warming up, you're hitting a pitching wedge, a 9-iron, an 8-iron, maybe a 7-iron. If your feet are outside the shoulder width, you have really made it hard for yourself and for your club to swing efficiently. And I want to give you a little demonstration. And I also encourage you guys to get up off the couch or wherever you guys are. If you're standing, that's great. Make sure let's exaggerate. Let's get wide with our stance here. And I want you to feel like you want to jump up. So just humor me, do this with me. I'm going to try to jump as high as I can here, right? This is really awkward and really hard. So now let's go to kind of shoulder width and see how powerful we are from here. From here, we can explode, right? We can explode up. This is a powerful move. This allows us to actually use the ground. This does not allow us to use the ground. Also, I understand nobody stands that wide, but it's the exact same principle, guys. If you're standing too wide in your golf swing, if you're trying to shift your weight efficiently, your whole body has to sway to do that. Or your hip really has to sway far to do this, right? And both of these things, they don't look like a very good golf swing, do they? So it looks like more like I'm working out over here. I'm already out of breath. And it does not look like we're swinging the golf club, because golf is all about little motions and really good weight transfer, and not any massive motions, anything that we have to, really sway or shift or do anything. But we do have to do it if our stance is too wide. So the impact that has on your golf swing, number one, you cannot actually load away from the target well, which means you can't load into the target well. So that's where I see so many of us do this. They go back and they kind of stay stagnant like this, and then they kind of tilt towards the target with their upper body. And what happens when they come down? They tilt towards the back, away from the target in their downswing, and their weight's more on this side. And they're really just kind of tick-tocking, and this is not a good turn, right? This is going to cause you to stay behind the ball too long, not have any forward shaft lean, not be able to actually press off of that right foot and be able to get those hands leading, because the sequence of release in the backswing ideally is pelvis, shoulders, arms, and club, right? That's the sequence of the release. If you have too wide of a stance, what happens is you might release your pelvis, but then usually your shoulders kind of go first. So it's shoulders, pelvis, and then club, and then hands. So then we're really, really out of sync. And this is such an easy fix, guys. You just have to make sure you set up to a mirror at home, like these guys right here. Set up to it, look at your shoulder width, and just kind of find where your feet are right underneath your shoulders, number one. So your feet are actually not outside your shoulders on this one. So right here, that's it for me. My feet are not outside my shoulders. This would be kind of like my pitching wedge stance, right? Pitching wedge, 9-iron even. That's my stance. We're going to get slightly wider as we graduate up golf clubs, right? 7-irons, 6-irons, 5-irons. With the fairway woods, guys, we don't want to be even like have both of our whole feet outside of shoulder width. we kind of want to just have half of our feet outside of my shoulder width. And then with the driver, we can be a little bit wider, and that's okay. But we never ever want to go past where the insides of our feet are still kind of touching our shoulder width, not even with the driver. Because with the driver, it's actually so exaggerated too. If people would think, oh, I need to be wider, I need to be more strong, I need to hit it further, and then they do this and they do that, and it's just a really not efficient way to swing, guys. So a good drill to do, outside of actually doing the right stance, is just when you warm up, hit a couple of shots with your feet really together. Just start like this, right? Start like this, and just small shots, not big swings. We're just chipping. Because in chipping, you also want to have your feet close together. It's actually, this is the next phase of this mistake, is when somebody does this in their real swing, they also set up to a chip like this. Guys, it does not work. This is a stance for a flop shot if I absolutely have to, but trust me, you guys do not need to be thinking about flop shots right now. So a regular chipping stance is actually more like this. See how close and how narrow I am in my stance? Because now we can actually rotate and all the weight transfer, which there is not a ton in chipping, to be fair, because we really kind of want to keep our weight more in the front on the standard, bump and run. We just have more control over where our weight is when our feet are closer together. So make sure you start hitting a couple of balls with your feet together, then get a little bit wider, again, get the swing a little bit longer, then get the feet a little bit wider, get the swing a little bit longer yet again. So every time you widen your feet, you can go a little bit further in your swing. Great way to warm up, really kind of starts at the bottom with contact. If you start struggling with contact, go back, feet closer together and smaller swings, until you actually work your way up to the longer shots, and then you will be able to actually recreate good contact over and over and over again. So next time, make sure that you actually pay attention to how wide your stance is, because I see this so much, and it's such an easy fix, guys. You guys can fix this without any coach on the range. You don't even need anybody to look at this. You can see that by yourself and just feel like you can actually feel the ground. I hope this tip was helpful for you guys, and you guys go on the range right now or as soon as you can to check your stance. Make sure that if it's windy and you're on the course, you're not getting super wide. That is a tendency that is super normal. I see this on pros, I see this on amateur players all the time. So if it's windy, make sure your stance doesn't get like this. So leave me a comment below, guys. Let me know how it went. Subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And also maybe even put on the notification button, because then you'll actually be notified when I drop my next video, which is pretty much every single week. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.